My name's Shaquan, but a lot of people know me by my other name, Mad Skills. I'm an MC.
My name is Mad Skills. Paris, make some noise.
I'm a DJ.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a ghostwriter for some of your favorite rappers. I'm not about to tell you who, though. But most importantly, I'm a hip-hop enthusiast. HipHopConfessions is raw, unfiltered conversations with my friends revealing things that they didn't like, never knew about,
I don't know.
or never got into about hip-hop culture. So sit back.
Oh, come on, y'all.
Turn up the volume.
Hip-hop.
And listen to HipHopConfessions. Because everybody's got one.
Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.
What's good, world? This is your boy Mad Skills, and this is my podcast, Hip Hop Confessions, where I invite my friends, industry alikes, my peers, people I don't know, people I do know, to the chair to reveal something, music industry related or hip hop related that they've never told anybody. This episode is probably gonna be a little different, man, because I got a guy on here who I'm a huge fan of. I always felt like he was unsung, or he did so much stuff that I won't say nobody knows about, but a lot of people don't know about. He touched a lot of stuff in his career, in his day, and I'm a fan of his work. So, man, listen, I'm gonna get straight to it, man. We got my homeboy in the building, Chad, Dr. Seuss Elliott. What's up, brother?
What's good, Skills? What's good?
Do you still do the Dr. Seuss or nah?
Nah, man.
It's just Chad Elliott.
It's just Chad Elliott, man.
Well, listen.
Go ahead.
If they dug into the credits, they gonna see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they'll figure it out.
almost like me when I dropped the Mad and I was Skills for a minute. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Nike is Nike. You know what I'm saying?
Nike. Greatness.
How
is
are
greatness.
you, brother?
I'm blessed, man. One day at a time. Trying to keep afloat, man, like everybody else is right now.
Yeah, I get it, man. In these crazy times that we in, how are you, man? You good? You COVID free? You healthy?
Yeah, I had it. I dealt with it. Had it like 3 times, and
Damn.
Yeah, I had it 3 times, but only one really kicked my ass.
Right.
Everything else was kind of came and went. So
Kind of light work.
yeah, all the family's good though. We made it
that's
through.
Good. That's
Yeah.
good. You look healthy. You look like a villain in the James Bond movie. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You got the ill,
Listen,
Great Brothers.
Listen, I was 50 came quicker than I expected, and I was like, you got to go into it gracefully, man, and that's what I did. I didn't want to I didn't want to fight it. I didn't want to fight it and try to stay looking like I was 25 or 35. And, I tried to dye shit, and that shit was
I did too.
That shit ain't me, man.
I remember I was dyeing it heavy. I was trying to keep it black, and the gray just started showing up everywhere. Yeah. And then I remember one time I was on this plane. I was on a flight, and I sat down beside this older lady, and she was like, she said, "I really like that gray on you, young man." And I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of looked at it in the seat like, okay, somebody auntie in here.
Right,
at this point, I might have been like 35, 34. I wasn't ready for the gray yet.
Right.
And,
it was
and
like
then
a cougar attack or something was on the
right.
Yeah.
And then I just realized that, it made me look a little different. And I was like, listen, man, you can keep dyeing this shit if you want to, but my shit would come back in like 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, same here. So
I'm like, yo, just bro, listen, let's
embrace
what it is.
Yeah, man, it's God's gift to you, man. It's wisdom, man. There's a lot of brothers ain't get that.
Listen, bro, I was just out this weekend, and one of the homies said, "Thanks, cause you got the gray in." He said, "Man, we getting old." I said, "It's better than the alternative."
You ain't lying, man.
You ain't lying.
You ain't lying, and we've lost a lot. A lot.
Man. Listen, we have.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm a fan, like I said before, bro. Like the Jodeci single back there, it's not for it ain't for you, bro. This joint been in here 3-4 podcasts before you showed up.
Hilarious.
Like I'm a big Jodeci fan.
Right.
And I want to talk about you were in Swing Mob.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But before, let's go back before that a little bit. How did you even get started in the production and in music?
My my family was kind of always in the game. My mother was like doing promotions back in the day with Atlantic Records,
Wow.
and music was just in the house. You know, my
Mhm.
sisters loved music, and my brother was rapping back in the day. So, you know, he put his little brother in the crew, and you know, I was the little MC doing the block parties. So I had a taste of it, and then I started DJing, and then you know, it got a little serious when my mother was like, "You should, you know." There's this contest, what was it called? New York City Tin Pan Apple um, rap contest.
Mhm.
And Charles Stetler, was something that he had put together early, you know, I think this is 83, maybe 83.
Wow.
Yeah. And I entered in the contest, and it was in 5 boroughs. So I lived in Queens at that time, but I think I entered in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
What I No, actually, I take that back. I was living in Brooklyn at that time, and then I entered into the Queens joint. So I won the Queens one. They had, you know, different people, artists won the other ones, and then they had the big contest at Radio City Music Hall.
Mhm.
And on that concert was the Disco 3, which ultimately became the Fat Boys,
Mhm.
and they won first place, and I won second prize, and it was a true story, right?
Right.
You know, that's kind of what took us into something
Right.
else.
To that other thing.
Right, to that other thing. And UTFO at the time, who, you know, they were just dancing, they
Mhm.
won first prize in the dance contest.
Got you.
And that's kind of was my introduction into it. And then I kind of got the bug, and you know, living in Brooklyn, I ran into people like Fresh Gordon and Jazzo, which is
Mhm.
where, you know, I became friends with them. We started writing, and I really learned how to make my first beat at Fresh Gordon's crib.
Wow.
Yeah, he taught me everything I knew about that MPC 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
that was one of my favorite songs.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Fresh
yeah,
Gordon. Like
yeah.
he had one. He had a good.
He,
He had a hot
yeah,
one.
he had one, and he did some. You know, he was a ghost on a couple of joints that people don't know about. Also,
Right. Right.
you know, but you know, Gordon was a master, and you know, that's where I met Jazzo, and then I met Jay-Z, and you know, we kind of all were friends from that point. You know,
Right.
moving forward, growing up, and at that time, I don't think I was more than, you know, 13, 12,
Wow.
running around, and they were all older than me except for
Right.
Jay. Jazz was definitely older than me, but if I'm not mistaken, Jay and I might be
Around the same age.
Yeah, around
Yeah.
the same age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, that's kind of how it all started. You know.
Right. And you know, later on, you know, because we have a connection, you know what I'm saying, to two people that are very important to the Virginia music and helped me in a you know in a big way in my career, but it started before they had left and
Right.
went to New Jersey. So, you
Right.
know, and I'm speaking about Timbaland and Missy, but you were actually in Swing Mob
100%.
with Devontae and Jodeci's kid. Like I remember those days of you know, Swing Mob, you know what I mean? And hearing about, you know, Magoo would be like, yeah, Tim up there in Jersey, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because
Yep.
Magoo hadn't been yet. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So
He hadn't
what was
come.
that like to be at the height of Jodeci, like 91, Forever My Lady, and then Devontae starts this production camp and
Yeah.
put all y'all up in what was it, T-Neck?
Yeah. We was in T-Neck. Yeah. I mean, you know, so I mean, I was there before T-Neck even existed, right? So
How'd you even meet Devontae?
it's a crazy story. So my man Barry from Brooklyn, who was a corrections officer at the time, this, you know, dude who was always in the mix, ran into Devontae and you know, befriended him. And not knowing, I literally lived across the highway from him at the time. So he was like, yo, I met this kid. I want you to meet him. And he comes to Jersey. By this time, I'm living in Jersey, obviously.
Mhm.
He comes to Jersey, picks me up, drives me literally like around the corner, the other side of the highway, and walks me into this house. And yeah, when I walked into this, first of all, the outside of the house, it must have been about 40 garbage bags of shit in front of the crib, right? Where they
Right.
was all staying at this time.
Right.
This is where Andre had just took him out there. Andre had him living in the projects. Andre Harrell had him living in the projects and then moved him out the projects and then brought him to Jersey. So I walk into the crib, you know, I'm looking around. I'm like, where the fuck are we? Like,
Right.
who lives here? Like, who lives like this, first of all?
Right.
So at this time, all of them were living there, right? It was Dalvin, it was JoJo's case. They were all, Devontae were all living there. And I walk in, it was like a 2 levels, like split ranch. So I walk in, and then this kid walks out with no fucking shirt, skinny fucking body. And my man says, yo, D, this is my man Chad. And literally, in 10 minutes, I walked upstairs, gave him a pound. Had no furniture, no bed, nothing but an MPC and like 2 keyboards, I think, at the time.
Wow.
And I literally showed him how to swing on the MPC 60.
Mm-hmm.
And when I showed him that was it. Like, we were inseparable at that moment. And we just, from that moment on, he didn't move without me. I didn't move without him.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it all really began. There really was no swing mob. It was just he and I at
Right.
that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, as their career began to pick up and the song started to hit, and because it was a second, because we put out something and it didn't work, and we had to wait for that one to come, which ended up being Forever My Lady. And once that came, that was it. And then we hit the road. And once we hit the road, when you're on the road, you're running into all kind of talent.
Right,
Like,
right.
Talent like connects talent. Like it's like a magnet, right?
Right.
So, we at this time we on the road, and my man Charlucci, I don't know if you know Charlucci.
His name sound hella familiar.
Charlucci from Brooklyn. He's always around. He's been around the guys for forever. But he actually ran into Missy and Tim and all of them.
Right.
We was at in Virginia actually, and they was performing and doing their thing, and he was like, "Yo, y'all are dope." And he literally brought them to meet Devontae, and D loved him right away. And it feels like weeks later, I saw them in we were home, and I seen them at the crib.
They in Jersey.
They in Jersey, and yeah, so that, that whole time, man, was incredible. I mean, they were very, very talented individuals, man. Timbaland, even at that time, messing with that ASR, he just had such a unique sound. It was undeniable.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite what it, obviously became, but it was at its infancy, and it was pure. And it was unique, and it was, it was special. It was special.
I always tell people, man, I've never heard anybody make that ASR swing like he does. You know what I'm saying? There's only 2 producers that I know that can sit down in front of that joint, that fuck with that joint. They both from Virginia. One was Knott's Raw, and the other one was Timbaland. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm a huge Jodeci fan. Like I'm about to go see him. You know what I'm saying? On the New Edition tour in a couple weeks.
You won't be mad. You won't be mad.
So for me, like, to know that, sometimes I'm like I like to think about, like, damn, what was those times? Like, what was, because I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I can only speculate and just think about it.
Right.
But I was a huge Jodeci fan because, they was the bad boys of R&B. Like, you was either, at that time, you was either a Boyz II Men fan or you was a Jodeci fan. Like, you had to pick and fucking choose. At school, you had to pick it. Either you had that in your Walkman or you had the Motown Philly shit in your Walkman. And I was wearing cross colors, Doc Martens, you know what I'm saying, baggy pants. So I'm like, I identify with Jodeci.
Right.
So for me, I remember, I'll never forget, man, like one of the most distinctive memories I have of them was, of course, the album was out. Forever My Lady was out. I think the Come and Talk to Me remix, it took off. And I remember I was at home. I came home from school, watching Video Soul or whatever it was. And I was just sitting there, and they didn't say no new videos was coming up or nothing. They just like, yo, we be right back on Video Soul. Just they ain't say shit. So the camera is like inside this fence, and then the camera starts pulling back, and I hear JoJo go, "Just a little love is all I need."
Yeah.
And then like he did the riff, and then the beat dropped. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was the remix to I'm Still Waiting.
Yeah.
Which was probably one of the hardest remixes I ever heard in my life. And then I'm looking at the video. Tretch is in the video.
Yeah.
Ed Love is in the video. Missy and Sisters is in the video.
Yeah.
So to know that you had a hand in that record.
Yeah.
Was crazy to me. I love that song. I still play it to this day. And just the remix.
That's funny. It's funny. You know why? Well, I don't want to spoil it for you. Nah, I can't tell you now. I can't even tell you what I really want to tell you. Because, just you're going to have a good time at the show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I bet. Okay, bet.
Yeah, you're going to have a good time at the show.
So you're in Swing Mob.
Yeah.
And Devontae recruits these two kids from Virginia, one being Missy, one being Timbaland. He puts Missy, I guess he assigned her group. She had a group called Sister.
That's right.
And Jodeci, Tim and Missy don't make it onto the first Jodeci album. I think they was too late for that. But they came right in between Diary of a Madman and the first album.
Correct.
So what was early Missy like? We talked about Tim. Now, for my memories of Missy, I was later. At this point, Missy was already a star.
A monster. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what was early Missy Elliott like?
Wow. Other than, what's crazy? She's still very much like she is now, right? I remember, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit. There was a time, because, when they came to Jersey, they Devontae set them up. They had their own little spot. So I would see them periodically when they would come over. They would mostly be at their crib just working and making joints. And then they would come over and play joints because Devontae and I were living together at this time. And there was a point where she was living with me directly and only, right? And again, I'm fast forwarding a little bit. She still had ridiculous clothes, ridiculous shoes. Right. She was very, very shy, I mean, but when you put that beat on and you give her time, because she don't want nobody around when it's her time. She don't want nobody around.
She's still like that. When she records, it's her and the engineer. She like, all right, y'all got to get out. She still does that.
Listen, when we worked together early on, it was that way. I mean, I had to force myself in the room at times. And out of respect, I would not be in the room and be in front of the board. And,
right.
I would just find my corner.
And just post up.
And just, because I wanted to be witness to the shit. I want to see, know, because she was special. There's no question about it. But I will tell you, and I don't think that she would deny this. When she was with me, she had the opportunity to meet Faith Evans, right? And her and Faith became very good friends. Right, this happened all at my situation when she was with me, and I think that changed her arrangement skills for the better, right? Because she took Faith's like musicality and arrangement style,
right?
And mixed it with her hip hop shit. And that's kind of, I think, what really changed, her whole spectrum of how she created. Right. Because, if you listen to early stuff, they sung a little bit and, she definitely was rapping. But it was the arrangements, how she started, because working with Tim, Tim's not a guy who's heavy on the chords, right?
Right.
But
Heavy on the beats.
Heavy on the beats, and sonically, he's got some special things going on. And Missy figured out, all right, well, I gotta layer this. I gotta pull the musicality aspect to it. So I'm gonna arrange these harmonies where these shit sound like chords that Timbaland might have played or whoever.
Right.
And so when that union came together, man,
unstoppable.
It was something special, man. It was something special. But Missy's a beast, man. She's an incredible talent. It used to crack me up how shy she was, but that tends to be a running theme with really creative
geniuses.
people. Yeah, genius. You're right. You're right. Because Devontae's that way too. Devontae's very shy, but he's a genius.
Like,
he's a genius.
I remember I was having a conversation. It might have been me, a couple other people chimed in. It was maybe B Cox.
Mhm.
I think Jonte might have chimed in. It was a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And I was just saying, I was like, yo, man, like I might have said it on the gram or on Twitter, but I was like, yo, man, like we don't have no groups. Like we don't have no R&B male, nothing. Like, and everybody was like, I was like, yo, when was the last group of guys? And everybody was like, damn, like, shit, was it like B2K or Pretty Ricky or some shit? I'm like, bro, it's so crazy. We don't have 2 or 3 black males, 4 or 5 males singing together. We haven't had it in years. There's no groups
at all.
And everybody was like, damn, Skills, that's kind of crazy. Like, you right, bro. And everybody was like, oh, man, we need to bring R&B back. Everybody's singing about, this, that, and the third. They not, I Love You is going out of style. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm listening to dudes singing songs. They not really singing. They kind of just melodically rapping.
Chanting.
I said, but the content is even worse. It's like,
the content is worse.
It was one song, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to keep it all the way funky. It was August Alsina. I can't remember the name of the song, but I listened to the first verse of the song, and in the first verse, the content that I got was, hey, girl, come over here. Late. You could come over here later tonight. We gonna fuck. We gonna fuck on the floor. And then we gonna smoke an L. But I ain't the type of nigga you need to fall in love with. That was the content of the song.
Right.
And I was like, God damn, we so far. Like, and girls are like, oh my God, August. Da-da-da. And I'm like, damn, nigga tell you, come over here.
That's right.
We gonna fuck on the floor. And then we're going to smoke an L, and then you can leave. And y'all like that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I mean, it is truly, to me, at this point, art imitating life, because that's the culture. That's what it has become.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. I have this love-hate thing with the music industry in general.
Right.
Mostly because I feel like we altered that shit. Like, we were responsible for that.
Yes.
Right? Like, Jodeci's approach to the game at that point, after the Forever My Lady album, it was never going to be the same again, because they, like you said, were the bad boys of R&B. And when you heard a song like Fiendin' or Freaking You, and you heard Freaking You that was it.
Yeah.
That was the moment. Freaking You was the moment that you could not, if you're going to make a record like that, you got to go harder than that.
Right.
Oh, they're going harder than that now. They're going way harder than that. Like, so, we contributed to that. And, I'm sad because, I mean, I don't want to get too deep, but I'm definitely sad that it has changed.
That's
so
where
much.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I take responsibility. And
I remember, listening, like I said, when I put that out in the stratus, in the social media world, a lot of comments, a lot of people chiming in. They was like, oh man, we need to we need this guy to bring, this guy should come back, or this person should get behind the boards again and start making music again. And I remember putting up a picture of Devontae, just a picture of Devontae by himself with no shirt on my Instagram. I know niggas probably didn't even read the caption. Like, why this nigga just post a picture of Devontae with no fucking shirt on?
Right.
And the caption was, if y'all want to bring R&B back, find this nigga. Because at that point, Devontae was very recluse. Like, nobody had really seen him. Yeah. Casey and JoJo was, they were still doing shows and things. Dalvin would pop in here and there, but nobody knew where Devontae was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, y'all want R&B back? Find this nigga.
Yeah.
Like, he's different.
He's still different. He still got the sauce, too. He's a genius.
That's so dope, man.
I'm just going to say it. He is definitely a genius. I haven't really seen anyone quite like him. I mean, Teddy's great, but Devontae's different. And they know it. They'll tell you that.
Right. Yeah.
They've been in the room with him. They know.
For sure.
Yeah. They know. Yes.
So you do a stint in Swing Mob.
Yeah.
And you help a young Missy Elliott in a way that probably a lot of people don't know about. Can we talk about that real quick? Yeah, how that record that she ended up getting into.
Okay. So unfortunately, Devontae and I had a falling out, right?
How long were you in Swing Mob?
I think it might have been, like 2 years, 3 years maybe. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years. Because I met Devontae in 90, I think it was.
Right before Forever My Lady. Wow.
Correct. And I don't even think the album was done, really. I don't think the album was actually done at that time. I think it was Gotta Love was the first song that they were.
Gotta Love. I hated that song.
Yeah, so did everybody else.
I like Through the Motions, as you can see.
Yes.
But I hated Gotta Love.
Yeah. So did everybody else. But, we had a falling out and, we parted ways at that time. And, I went on to start my own shit. The thing about that is that I had already obviously been in the music business for years prior to even meeting Devontae. Right. Which, Jermaine and I and that whole thing falling back to the 80s, right?
Right.
So, I just went on and start making my own phone calls and, this is what I'm doing. So I go on to, find an artist by the name of Rufus Black at the time and sign him, did a deal.
I still play that record.
Absolutely.
Rufus Bro, Black. I loved his flow
Rufus
on that
was
song.
Dope, man.
And I found him later. You know what I'm saying? I found Rufus later, just not to cut you off, but I found Rufus later. And I remember I was playing a bunch of songs online during the pandemic. And it was a song that I had that I wasn't supposed to have. It just ended up on one of my flash drives. And it was a song by an artist named Adrian Hood.
Okay.
And he was singing. It was an insane ballad, a crazy ballad. And I found out that Rufus Black wrote that song.
Right. So crazy is that him and Missy during this time at my house were like brother and sister.
Wow.
Right? So they spent a lot of time writing, vibing together. So there is a lot of him and her and him as well.
Right.
I don't know if, everyone would agree, but in my opinion, as much time as they spent together creatively, it definitely, and again, Faith, and Rufus went on to write, some really amazing records for other people, and him and Faith are, brother and sister to this day, right? So, that all kind of, that synergy was there at that time. So anyway, back to, how the whole Missy thing. So at the time, I went on, started my own thing. I hadn't really spoken to Missy because she and Devontae and the whole crew at this time, which had now become the Basement, right, were in Rochester. Right. So he had set up shop in Rochester and, they were up there, doing what they were doing. And unfortunately, the situation got, sour between them. And
they came back to VA.
Right. But before that, the first phone call that I got actually was from Stevie J, right?
Mhm.
So Stevie J, you know, who was in the situation as well, was like, you know, things are not working out well. You know, I'm looking for a home basically. And you know, I invited him in, right? I knew he was talented, and you know, at that time, like I said, I'm building my own thing, right? So I invite him in. He basically moves into the crib, and he's staying with me, and he's, you know, creating. And him and Missy are communicating, and you know, he tells me, "Yo, Missy wants to holler at you." I get on the phone with Missy. Missy, you know, tells me, you know, situation's not great for her up there. Um, and I'm like, what you want to do? She's like, you know, I just want to work. So I invited her in.
Mhm.
You know, she came from Rochester, and you know, and moved into the house, gave her a room, and we started creating. And then I got a call from Puff at the time, or Diddy. I don't know what to call him, Puff, Diddy, whatever.
Brother
He wa-
Love.
Brother Love was working on. He was working on all the Bad Boy stuff at the time. He was finishing up Biggie's second album. He's working on Total and all of this stuff. And he was working in Jamaica at the time, I think it was. And he had just opened up Daddy House, and for some reason he wasn't working there. So he was like, "Yo, Chad, I'm out. Can you, you know, get in here and, you know, keep the
Right.
shit going, right?
Yeah, keep something happening in
Keep
here.
something happening, right?" Because at this time I had a relationship with Motown, and you know, we were doing a lot of work over there. So, you know, I went over there and we had like 2 rooms going. And so I had been there for about a month and a half. And he had popped back in. He was doing a remix, and he asked me to go and take a listen and, you know, maybe do some drops or something like that. So I go in there and I'm listening to the song, and shit's hot. You know, I'll do a couple of drops. And he was like, "Yo, I want to try to get somebody," excuse me. "I want to try to get somebody on it. I don't know who." And I was like, "Yo, we should put Missy on it." The nigga laughed at me, I swear. He laughed at me.
Wow.
So I'm like, "All right, cool, whatever." So he leaves, he's out, you know, mix is getting done. And I tell Missy, "Yo, come here. Go in there. I want you to write a mean 16 and just do it." I said, I don't know what's gonna happen. Just go get it done. She went in there. I mean, it might have been all of about 30 minutes. And told the engineer she ready.
Mm.
Engineer hit record. And the next thing I know, he ha.
Nigga, the first 4 bars.
Listen.
Nigga, what you packing? You ain't ready for Puff Daddy Beware. How will he make the remix so deadly? Shazam. He gonna be my pal like Shazam. He. Stop right there. You got a memorable verse already. That's
Already.
6 bars in.
Already.
Wow.
So, needless to say, Puff comes back in. He don't know. I hit play. I let him. I'm hitting play like, "Yo, listen to what I did." I hit play. Shit's rolling. Like you said, by the 6th bar, that when she hit the ha
Right.
and that the drum roll hit, Puff was lost. He was like, "Oh shit! What the?" That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And,
Wow.
you know, that was her first, you know,
Yeah.
major performance.
She got in the video, the whole
Mhm.
shebang.
Changed her life.
Changed her life.
Changed her life. Changed her life. And, you know, oddly enough, around that same time, you know, we were working and we were in that mode, and we were able to squeeze out another one, which was Stilo by 702, which was her first top
Placement.
10
Yeah.
R&B record, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, we did a lot together, and we lost contact after that. And recently, you know, we've been communicating again. It feels good, and it's nothing but
That's dope,
love.
man.
And,
That's
you
dope.
know, yeah. So it's
Wow.
good. Much love to Missy, man.
Puff didn't even want her on it.
He ain't want
And
it.
he walk in the room and hear he. Yo, that shit is so crazy.
Listen, man, I was like, when I heard it, I knew it was over. I'm like, it was the fly shit I had heard.
With the
I
Mardi
hadn't
Gras
heard
break.
had heard nothing as hard as that at that very moment.
Who
Nothing.
wrote the actual song for Gina?
You know what? That's a good damn question.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I'm not
want to
sure.
see, like, who wrote the actual song. I'm gonna look that up real quick. But it was such a big record for Missy, man. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just
No,
for her
I mean,
to
that was-
have that joint.
that was literally the record that solidified her as as a rapper. Like, yo, you supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You know,
It was no denying her at that point. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It was no denying her at that point. It was a good song. It says Rodney, Missy, and Darren Jones
Okay.
from 112.
Okay. So yeah, he probably wrote the
Yeah.
Darren must have wrote it.
Yeah.
It sounds like him now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, man.
Yep.
So listen, all right, okay, cool. Well, the podcast is called Hip Hop Confessions, and like I said, I'm such a fan that I had to fan out on a couple things before we even got to your confession. But I need to know, Chad Elliott, what is your hip hop confession?
Well, for those that don't know, man, you're gonna make me do this. You know, I don't even talk about this.
I know you
It's not
don't.
that I'm not proud of it, because it is a part of hip hop history. Right?
It is.
But I guess because I was a kid and, you know, just the look, I don't know. But so my hip hop confession is that I am the kid in Crush Groove with the purple and yellow outfit with Swatch watch glasses on, singing I Want You to Be My Girl by Frank and Lyman. Yeah, that was me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was me.
And I just found this out within like the last year.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, like, I'm a Run DMC fan, like a huge Run DMC fan. You already know the deal with Run and all of that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But you are the kid that beat the Fat Boys at the talent show.
Absolutely.
In Crush Groove.
Right.
Where you won the stereo equipment.
Absolutely.
And they won the record deal or something like that.
Absolutely.
And what's so crazy is it's so close to a true story. We touched on it earlier. Like,
absolutely. No, so that's exactly what it was based on. That whole movie. I mean, look, the movie is based loosely on everyone's, you know, true story, right?
Right.
For the most part. And that definitely is exactly what happened. I mean, the Fat Boys absolutely were in a contest that I was in. And, you know, they won first place in their perspective. I think they had entered into the Bronx. And then I won, like I said, in Queens. And then we came together on that stage at Radio City Music Hall. And they came in first, obviously, because they had Buffy. If Buffy wasn't there, rest in peace, Buff. If Buff wasn't there, I really believe that I would have won first place, though. Because I didn't sing. I was rapping. I rapped in both contests.
Oh, okay.
Right. They made me sing in the movie, though.
Okay, so, all right. Because it's a couple Crush Groove questions I have to ask.
Okay.
Now, at this age, at this point in your life, how old are you again?
I am 13 years old.
You're 13 years old.
Yeah.
You're doing your music thing. You know, the family knows about it. Your mom does promotions for Atlantic Records. Your brother's a rapper. You've been going around the city doing these talent shows, and you lose to the Fat Boys at Radio City Hall, which is a big deal. Radio City is like a big deal venue in New York.
It was.
At what point did somebody say, hey, we want you to be in a movie? How did that even go?
Nah, so again, because it was based on a true story, right? Charles Stetler, who put the concert together, also became the Fat Boys manager.
Right, I remember him. White guy.
Right, exactly. And he was what was his name? Beaker. He was Beaker in
the movie.
In the movie, right? He played Beaker.
He was trying to sign Run. He ended up signing Run and Curtis Blow and all of them under Russell's nose in the movie.
In the movie, correct. That was all fiction. That's not, you know, obviously that part of the movie wasn't, you know, that was all fictional.
Right.
So So, you know, they took a liking to me as well. They wanted to manage me also, right? So they did. And they gave me a record contract. And I actually did record songs with Curtis Blow. Curtis Blow wrote like 2 songs for me.
Wow.
Yeah, early on. And so when the movie, you know, was happening, Charles was obviously involved in management. And, you know, they were
Right.
like, listen, if we're gonna tell a story, we're gonna tell the whole story. And, you know, this kid was there and we want him to be a part of it. And, you know, there was nothing crazy about it. It just flowed. It just happened. I was there.
Bro, you way too calm. You was in Crush Groove, bro. You were in Crush Groove.
Oh man.
I can't even imagine. Okay, second question, still Crush Groove related.
Yes.
What was it like when you went to the theater or the premiere or whatever it was, and you saw yourself in what you didn't know was going to be a hip hop classic, because the movie didn't perform too well. It was okay.
Right. Correct.
But how did that even feel? I can't even imagine that.
You know what? When I really think about it, you know what was the most fascinating thing to me? Seeing Sheila E.
Whew,
like seeing Sheila at that time and knowing her relationship. First of all, she was fine as hell.
She was bad as hell.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the outfit she had on in the movie.
I do.
But I was there in real life, right?
Right.
And it was you know how Prince got down, right? I was 13 years old and I was looking at Sheila E. and then I saw it at the premiere and I tell her that all the time too. I'm like, Sheila, that outfit it changed my life forever.
Listen, with the back out. What?
Oh, listen. It was see-through. Like it was just see-through. Like everything was just
because Sheila has in Sheila's book, I read her book, and then Sheila's in a couple podcasts, I want to say on the Homie Quest Loves podcast, Sheila has always said that when she did the film, you were a 13-year-old kid at this point, but she's always stood, she never really named people, but she was like, when I did that movie, it was only one person that treated me nice. Everybody else was like, why she here? Like, why is she in it? Why she got to be the lead? She was like, Blair Underwood was cool. She said, but the rappers, she said, rap was a thing. Like, it was new. It was fresh.
Right.
And if you came around and you weren't a rapper. If you was doing R&B or singing, it was like, those is 2 separate worlds.
Yeah,
like,
really
so
was.
she was like, it was a lot of people on that set. And I would think that she was talking about Run and some of the rappers, like, that they just treated me so bad. Like, she was like, it's in her book.
I didn't know that.
It's in her book. I think, I don't want to say no names, but, because I could be speculating, but I know who the stars of the movie was, but she was like, she said, yo, they treated me so bad. She was like, to the point that she quit one day, and they had to get her back to set. Like,
I think I remember that. I remember hearing that. Yeah.
She quit, and they shut down production for a day, and they was like, yo, we done shot half this movie, and y'all got to be nicer to Sheila.
Yeah.
Because she's
I remember
about to quit.
there was some tension, definitely, because, people didn't realize. I mean, and again, I don't think at that time, Sheila, I mean, she was known.
Right.
She wasn't like,
Right.
I think, she wasn't.
It wasn't like they had a A-list actress in the 80s on there.
Correct.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't somebody that's like, oh, that's a box office draw, bro. We ain't here doing a movie with.
A hip-hop movie at that.
A hip-hop movie with, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop, like, because nobody thought this shit was going to fly. But, Sheila was like, yo, they treated me so bad that I quit one day.
That's funny.
And she
that's
ended
a
up
shame,
coming
actually.
back.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, I did hear that. I do remember vaguely hearing about, some tension that was there. I do.
You were in fucking Crush Groove.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was quite the experience, man. I mean, like I said, premiere was amazing, just being there with, with Run and all of those guys at that time. By the time that we actually did the movie though, we had already been on tour together, right?
That's what I was about to get into. You went on the Fresh Fest.
The first.
It's pictures of you on the first Fresh Fest with the Fat Boys.
Yeah.
Run DMC. Who else was on that tour?
Curtis Blow, Houdini, Run DMC. Who else? I mean, hip hop. Well, Fat Boys, obviously. So it was
Right.
Curtis Blow, Run DMC, Houdini, and the Fat Boys. Those were the headliners. And then they had, some dances, like they had the New York City Breakers and
Right.
that kind of stuff.
And then you
and
on tour,
myself and one other fella.
and you meet a young dancer from Atlanta
Yep.
who ends up on the tour with you, and because y'all are both of the same age, y'all
Yep.
click.
Yep.
And that guy happens to be
the one and only Jermaine Dupri.
y'all know what this is.
Y'all know what this is.
A 33, 34-year friendship starts at the
Yeah.
Fresh Fest tour in Atlanta.
Yeah, now I'm eating his ice cream.
I still want to try it. I gotta.
It's good as hell.
Did you order it or did you get it in the store?
I went to Walmart and picked it up myself.
Yeah,
I did.
Jermaine told me, he was like, Skills, you're going to have to order it. They don't, because I'm in Virginia at the moment.
Right.
I know they don't have it in LA. But
Right.
when I was in Atlanta like last month, I tried to find it. It was
hard to
insane.
find.
Yeah, hard
It's
to find.
selling out. When I went here in Jersey, there was limited selection, and they had a whole bunch, but it was limited. It's doing very well.
That's
very
dope.
well. Salute to
I'm
my
happy
boy.
for JD. So you meet a young Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
And how does that friendship go when y'all are two kids on the Fresh Fest tour?
I mean, could you imagine? Think about what you're saying right now. Think about what you're saying right now, Skills.
Jesus Christ.
You got two 13 and 12-year-old kids traveling the world, the United States, every night, a different city, with some of the biggest acts in the world. Now, keep in mind, there's never been ever a tour with this caliber of artists, because this is brand new.
Right.
This is it.
Rap music is brand new.
This is it. I'm talking about Run DMC is doing sucker MCs.
Wow.
Right? This is brand new. Houdini is doing Friends, One Love. Like, these are their records that the Fat Boys are doing. Fat Boys. I mean, this is it. This is it. So,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, exactly. We called out Jesus Christ's name every night. We couldn't believe, we couldn't believe some of the shit that we were seeing and experiencing, man.
Right.
And it really was an incredible moment for us, I think, at that age, to witness and be a part of, the beginning.
Mhm.
And I don't, I look at a lot of people today that are in the industry, and, he and I always talk about this. There ain't too many people that seen it from where we seen it from.
Nah.
Right? And we have a different appreciation for it, and this completely different understanding of where it comes from, how it was built. But, to answer your question, it was insane. I mean, the women, the women, I mean,
Yo, listen,
I
man.
mean,
I'm sure, like, at this point, it's 2022. I'm sure y'all are seeing women at that age that are like grandmothers now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
That was down in the lobby waiting for Houdini or waiting for.
We got the great grandmothers are at this point.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we
crazy.
kids,
Right.
So they great grandmothers now, right? Now from the Jodeci tour, there's some grandmothers out there,
Right.
but from that
From
era,
the Fresh Fest tour, they great grandmother.
great grandmothers.
Jesus Christ. Ain't no aunties. Ain't no
I-
aunties.
No. It's crazy, man. It's again, when I look back at not only my career but Jermaine's career,
Yeah.
it's just so many decades worth of amazing accolades and contributions.
Right, because
to this
Jermaine
thing.
wasn't doing beats when you met him.
No, not at all. But
was-
but not long after though,
Right.
because we formed a group at that time. Like, okay, so on the first tour, it was Chad and Jermaine. How it all started. Show opened. Jermaine would be in the middle stage, popping, dancing, boom, boom, boom. And then he would throw it to the main stage where I was at. And then I would come and I would start rapping. Nobody ain't never seen me, heard me ever before.
Right.
But
Right.
this is what we out here to do. And we go and we give it our all. And we got fans now. And we feeling good. We feel like we just rocked the whole show. Like it's 17,000 people
they came
in the
to
arena.
see us.
They came to see us. There was, in some states, they had our names on the flyers. It was a Chad and Jermaine, real small at the bottom. But
Right.
it was there though. So, with that, we nurtured an incredible friendship and, spent a lot of time after the tour. He came to Brooklyn. My mother let him come stay with me. And, he stayed here for a while. And I went to Atlanta and stayed with him in Atlanta and stayed with his mom. And we were just like brothers, man. And, the music was cool that we got a chance to do that as well. But we were just friends, man. We were just two kids who, what are the odds of meeting another kid whose vision, who's, laser vision on his career and music. And this is all we knew. Yeah. This is it. He was exactly who I was in Atlanta. Right. Who I was in New York is who he was in Atlanta. That same exact kid. So when we met, it was right away. And then second tour, his father, Mike Malden, was like, yo, you guys should be a group. Chad and Jermaine. I'm like, okay, that's dope. Let's do it. Go. And, and here's a crazy thing. At this point, Skills, I'm living in Virginia now. I'm living in Newport News.
Oh, wow.
I'm living in Newport News at this time. And JD's in Atlanta. Every day, we going through 45s. We hitting we fake sampling though. We ain't had no sampler, so we got to play the joint on a tape deck. Hit the pause button.
Yep.
Loop it back.
Pause tape.
Hit it again.
Yep.
That's how. And we used to send that shit back and forth to each other, and that's where the production aspect of it started to come because we heard shit. We knew it was hot, and we wanted to. We was ready, but nobody didn't understand that we was ready at that time.
At that age.
Yeah. At that age.
Shout out to y'all parents, man, for having the foresight to say, this is what my son is into, and I'm going to help facilitate this dream and this thing that nobody knew what it would turn into, that it would be y'all livelihood. You know what I'm saying? This is what my child is into. It's safe. He's okay. He's not hurting anybody. There's no gang shit. There's no violence. Yeah, I'm gonna let him be a part of this new thing. Yeah, this new thing, man. I take my hat off to my mother and Jermaine's mother, Tina, and Michael, because they saw something and they supported us, man. And it was no questions asked. We just did what we were supposed to do. Like it was like second nature for us. We didn't know how not to do it, and we just went with it, man. We went with it, Right. Which I still he said it recently. He was like, he claims that he didn't realize this when he was, creating Crisscross, that when he saw those two kids in the mall, that that was y'all. That was us. But he's recently come to it, and he says, yeah, that's where it was. That's what it was. It's cool though. And 30 plus years later, you get to induct your friend, who you known since you was 12, 13 years old, into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Yeah. 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 Like, how was that, man? Like I looked at it on YouTube, and just y'all are the same two happy kids that are just happy for each other. What was that like? It's crazy, man. When we're together now, you would think we were still 12 and 13 years old. Like I don't want nobody to see us when we together, because we super goofy. Like we kids. We like, it's crazy, man. We come across cool, everything else, but when we together, it's like it's just jokes and playtime. Right. But the Songwriters Hall of Fame, man, when I got that call, first of all, he called me and asked me, he told me what was happening, and then he asked me would I do it. Right. And when he asked me, I was, my jaw dropped. Like, I was very honored and surprised that, he would come back, so many years and, want me to be a part of this moment for him or with him. Mm-hmm. Because, in all actuality, it's our moment, right? It was our moment. As much as it was his moment, it was our moment. Right.
So to have me there, first was nerve-wracking because
Mm.
I don't think I realized how heavy the room would be.
Mhm.
Right? This is a serious room,
Mhm.
Skills.
Right.
I'm talking about Neil Diamond. I'm
Yeah.
talking about Kool and the Gang. I'm talking about
Legends.
legends on legends.
Not just R&B and hip hop.
Nah, man.
Musical
Legends. I mean, the only other I think black writer from the hip hop world before that was Jay-Z. I think
Yeah, it was
Jay-Z.
Hov.
Yeah,
Hov
Hov
is
got
in
it.
there. Hov and Jermaine.
Right. And now Missy.
And Missy.
Also. Yeah.
Missy's gonna get in this year.
No, Missy got in.
Oh, she got in.
She got in already. She got
Okay.
in. What was it?
It might have been last year, but it was probably like virtual or something because of the COVID.
Yeah, maybe, but she's definitely in now. Definitely in now. But again, the heaviness of the room, man. So I'll tell you what was funny. So, shows going on and, they're telling me, get ready. I'm going up next. So they come get me out of my seat and we go, backstage and, I'm nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm nervous like a motherfucker.
Right.
And then I see Mariah Carey. And then I see Usher. I'm saying, hold up. He didn't know they was going to be there. I didn't know they was going to be there.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so they're going to talk. That's good. They're going to talk
a little
after
weight
me.
Off of me.
These two go up before me.
Whoo.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? Really? Usher, Mariah, really? This is what's going to happen?
Wow.
You two are going to go on stage before me, right? Okay. So they go, obviously surprise Jermaine and, give their little speech. They didn't write anything. They spoke from the heart, which was really dope. They obviously have long relationships, with him. And, it was very, very organic. And he was very surprised. And then, who's up third? But little old Chad. And, I heard him on the speaker. Up next, presenting Chad Elliott. And, everybody's like, oh, okay.
Right.
Right. So I go up there. And, I took time and I wrote out a really nice, speech because I knew that regardless of who was in the room, nobody in that room really knew why this little black kid from Atlanta was, was here. And I made sure to, make sure they knew.
Yeah, no, your words were very eloquent, very strategic. And,
thank you.
And it was such a beautiful nod to Jermaine and everything that he's done and what he stands for.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm still amazed at his success, man. Like, it doesn't surprise me. It just amazes me because he was such a sponge, man. He was way more talented than I ever was, right? For number one, I never even saw myself on his level. I just knew that I was glad to be around him. I always knew that he had a different love for this thing, like just different. And he soaked this shit up differently. You heard it in his acceptance speech. I posted that, and I never really wanted to post that, but and it had nothing to do with him, giving me love. It was really again about these two black young kids who made it to this place and shared this moment, and at this biggest at this moment for him, which was one of the biggest moments in his career, that he would look and salute
Facts.
his day one for being there and allowing him in that space and just being there for him, just being a friend, because that's all I really was. I wasn't anything more than just being my man's friend. That was it. So yeah, it was amazing, man. I mean, it was. I don't know if I answered the question. No,
of course you did, man. That was just so dope, man. Like it was a dope moment, and seeing, I didn't see you until later, but like I said, I would see pictures of you and Jermaine in the hallway, in the corridor, as kids, Fresh Fest tour. Of course, we, our first foray into seeing Jermaine was the actual video, You know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh, the little kid from the video. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah, man, for him to go on and do what he did, and y'all had that brotherhood and that friendship so early on that has remained intact
Yeah.
all these years, man. It's just dope to see. It's dope to see black men sticking together and supporting each other. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It
And
really is, man.
for that long period of time that ain't related, that's not, y'all
Yeah.
not blood related. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's like your brother, man. That's dope.
Yeah. You know, like they say, man, blood don't make us brothers, right? Or
Right.
make us family. You know?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
sometimes it ain't blood related, it's love related.
It's love related. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%, man. 100%.
That's dope, man.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. What else? What else?
Listen, man, I don't know. I think we covered it all. I definitely wanted to get into the swing mob stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know later on you ended up doing some stuff at DMX. Rest in peace, DMX.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yeah.
And when I looked at, some of the, the records, like the discography, like you was doing shit for everybody, bro. Like of course it's Swing Mob, of course it's Jodeci, of course it's Missy 702 and
Mhm.
Rufus Black, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
the
Destiny
Motown
Child.
stuff, Destiny's Child, Horace Brown. But then I started seeing like Raven Simone and the shit you did with Missy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was funny. Yeah, yeah. That was like I think we did that song actually before. Yeah, we did that way before. Yeah, wow. We did that way early. I'm gonna tell you a funny story, and Timbaland probably, I don't think he's mad at me anymore. But I was young. I was young. So, I get the call. They want this record done for Raven Simone. And, I go, I make the beat, and no bullshit. Timbaland gave me the "That's What Little Girls Are For" sample. He gave me that. And at the time, I don't think, maybe I just didn't understand how it should go, but I never credited for him. I never gave him credit for that, and no bullshit. I saw him. I saw him, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I think, at Summer Jam here in New York with Swiss. And I apologized to him. I apologized to him, like real talk. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't even have an explanation, right? All I can do is say I'm sorry.
Right.
I was young. I didn't really get it. I took advantage of the opportunity, and that's what
all
it
you
was.
can do. That's all
I can do. It was a learned lesson, because I know it affected him later on, because I had heard somebody tell me that he was upset or something to that effect. That
Yeah, and when you hear shit like that, you like,
Yeah.
yo, man, I'm a grown man at this point. Like, I'm 50 plus years old. Some of the things I
Yeah.
did when I was 20, 21, I'm not. These people are still here, and I could still reach out and say, you know what, dog? In 91, dog, I was dead wrong for that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I apologize. I just did it maybe like 3 weeks ago to
Really?
one of my homies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From
Right.
back in the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like being accountable and being responsible for your own actions, and being able to
100%.
say, yeah, man, like I that was some fucked up shit I did, bro. I'm
Yeah.
not that person no more.
Yeah.
I didn't. I overlooked your feelings. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And yeah, man, like
Yeah. And the business.
Yeah, and the
aspect of it.
business
Yeah,
is-
definitely. I mean, we ain't make no money, but nonetheless,
Right.
he could have been on the credit, and
Right.
it was, he deserved
Right.
it. He really
Right.
did deserve it. To be a part of it.
Yeah.
But that was, it was a good time. I'm glad the record happened. And yeah, I'm sorry, Tim. Still
dope,
sorry.
man. Listen,
Yeah,
that's
man.
dope that you can still do that. Well, listen, bro, I thank you, man,
Yes,
for
sir.
reaching for just like I said, I had always followed you on the gram. I was always a fan of your work, and
Yeah.
we would periodically just comment on each other's things. And,
Yeah, we share some credit together, right? I think,
Yeah.
Didn't DMX thank us or something? On
Yes.
And I think we're on the same line. I think
Yes, in the DMX album, your name is right next to mine in
Yeah.
the thank yous, bro. And
Yeah,
somebody had
yeah.
to bring that up to me after I did the Nori podcast and shit.
Right,
so.
right.
And I know you don't do a lot of these, man. So I
No.
just want to say thank you, bro. I
No.
appreciate you so much, man.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate what you're doing, and keeping this thing alive. And these stories are important, and people should hear them, man. This is it. This is what we got. It's ours, right?
Yes.
So, we got to protect it, and you're doing a great job at that. So I appreciate you for what you're doing, man. Definitely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I still can't believe that I'm talking to the dude that was in Crush Groove. This shit is crazy.
Thanks, Skills. I appreciate it. I've done some really good things in my life, man. That's not one of my most proud moments, though, man. But
we gonna call it what it is.
We're gonna call it what it is. It's a moment.
So before we get out of here, man, let the people know where they can catch you, where they can follow you at on your socials.
Come see me over at Chad Elliott with 2 T's CEO, Chad Elliott CEO, on Instagram. That's where I'm at, man.
Yeah, you're definitely active on the gram.
And see the other things I do, man, because I'm not so active in the music anymore. I'm doing other things. I love being creative, and that's what I'm doing. Dope. Other things. Dope. So come and see.
That's what it is, man. This is your boy Mad Skills. One time for Chad Elliott, man. Y'all already know what it is. Yeah. This is HipHopConfessions.
Word.
Because everybody got one.
Everybody.
Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.